Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to our final episode of Somewhere on the Spectrum. I hope that you have enjoyed spending time with us over the last 8 weeks, and more importantly, gained a little bit of knowledge and information that can help you on your journey, no matter what role you play in the world of supporting someone on the spectrum. As I mentioned in the very first episode, my goal with this documentary was to bring you real stories, real experiences, knowledge and skills from people who are in the thick of it. Teachers, educators, parents, those diagnosed, business owners, community members, support systems, family, friends. We've heard from a lot of people over the last few weeks. We've heard about a lot of goods, a lot of challenges, but most importantly, the team has done an amazing job of being able to come together and speak from the heart. I don't know if there's anybody out in the world that knows exactly what goes on in the world of neurodiversity and autism, because everybody's circumstance is so unique. But I do believe that the more we come together and we make the conversations a normal part of life, whatever normal is, right? But that we feel comfortable having these conversations and sharing what we know, that maybe we can make just one step a little bit easier for those involved. You heard from people as we spoke about the young children, how children transition into middle school and high school, what happens when we get into our adult years, and a very in-depth conversation with Glenda Kroll as we spoke about the senior years. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode, number 7, where we talked about community supports. The panel did such an amazing job. I could not have asked for a better team, and I could not have asked for better results than what we got. Now, sure, we're not all professional filmmakers. I would have loved to have brought you so much more, and maybe that will be in store in the future. But once again, the whole purpose for us was to come together and share what we know, share our experiences, to just help you a little bit. I have a few of the team members coming on later in the episode to share what they want to be sure that you take away from this series. But prior to getting to that, I wanted to kind of go through this as well. You heard me say many times, wow, those were things I didn't even know. Wow, I didn't even think about that. When I originally made this plan to develop this documentary, I actually was coming to the world with just the lens of being an elementary principal. I felt like that in and of itself has so much information that needed to be shared out that would take up the entire series. But you also heard me say, as this grew and as it developed, more people got involved and more things were uncovered. For example, I didn't know that if you are a parent of a young child and you believe your child will need support after finishing their high school years. You need to get on those wait lists early in some of the states. It's going to depend on your state, your country, where you are, but being proactive early on is so important. And here I was in my little elementary school bubble, not even thinking about that. I also really was just so amazed to hear information about going through the adult years and understanding what it takes to prepare employers and business owners to be able to employ those on the spectrum. I know as a principal, I had teachers over the years who were diagnosed, some a little more high functioning than others, but no one in a capacity where they couldn't perform the job. But what do we do with those that do need a little more support? And how do we support them? That episode was pretty eye-opening. And then, of course, hearing about all of the things that happen as our lives start to come to an end. And you think about not only the typical end of life types of things, but then to put neurodiverse characteristics on top of it. I learned something in every single episode. And I hope you did as well. So as I wrap up my section, I just wrote down a few things I wanted to be sure to recap with you before you hear from some of my team members. The first one is out to everybody in the world. We're in a place right now where everything is hurry up and get to. Hurry up and get to this, hurry up and get to that, hurry up and do this, hurry up. We're in this constant state of instant. We watch YouTube videos, the shorts, we watch the TikTok videos, we watch the Instagram. I hear all the time, the shorter the better. Everything is so fast paced. And we've gotten into a place where we want that instant gratification. But I believe it has also made us a little intolerant of what happens when we don't have the instant. And when we're working with people with unique characteristics, some are going to be able to handle that fast-paced world, and some of us are not going to be able to. Some of us are going to be able to handle a world where now, after the pandemic, we come back together face-to-face socially, and some of us can't. And that's okay. That's what makes us all unique. Because if there were a billion Sherry Dixons out in the world, I mean, I think I'm pretty fabulous, but as we all do, but I don't think we want a billion of us running around, right? What makes us unique makes us unique. It makes us complementary to the others around us. And so as we wrap up this episode, I want to remind us all, find it in your heart to embrace unique characteristics from all of the people in the world. That's not to say that when people do something they're not supposed to do, you have to be okay with that. That's not what I'm saying. But just because you learn something in a specific way doesn't mean everybody has to. Just because you eat breakfast in a certain way doesn't mean everybody has to. Just because you do anything in your own unique way, remember that your neighbor might have their own unique way as well. This could hit into so many pieces in life, and I won't even go there. But when we can embrace, we build a tolerance. We build more of an understanding. And once again, we get this feeling that we can all be in the world together and that our uniqueness makes us unique. As a former principal, teacher, a current educational advocate, I want to just say to everybody out there, parents and educators, partner with your systems. We were not 100% successful 100% of the time, but we had a pretty high success rate in the work we did working with our families. And it was because I created a culture in which my teachers worked with our families. My teachers built relationships with our students. Our parents felt comfortable coming in, and when they didn't know something, they were able to ask questions. It was hard work. And there were frustrating times. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. And there were times that we didn't always agree. But we were committed to come together as a team, to be a support system, no matter what. And that commitment made the world of difference for the students at my school. I'd also like to say, when you don't know something, seek out help. Ask questions. A lot of times, and I'll go back to my very first, maybe my third year of teaching, my very first years in the classroom. I didn't have a lot of training. I was just coming out of college. I was in my early 20s when I took on my first teaching position. And the only children I really had direct work with prior to walking into that classroom was my own daughter. The differences in the students were also challenging for me as a teacher because I had to learn. I had to learn what worked for this student or that student, or this type of disability or that type of disability. So if you're in charge of being able to provide training or seek out training for your teaching staff, do it. Not just for those under the special education umbrella, do it for your general education teachers as well. We want our students to be out into our classrooms as much as we possibly can. But when things break down, it's typically because a teacher doesn't have the experience or the knowledge and skills to be able to help that situation get better. Those are the types of things that break that support system, that team mentality, working with families, working with the students. And parents, don't be afraid to ask questions. You heard me say, if you're an educator, ask the questions, get the training, learn as much as you can. But as parents, I encourage you to do that as well. You are your child's biggest advocate. You were their first teacher. And I don't know about you, but I sent the schools my very best when my daughter walked through those doors. You want the best for your child. When something seems out of the ordinary, ask the question. I know it can be intimidating. I know it can be overwhelming. And at times, I know it can feel like you may be asking the same questions over and over and over. But sometimes, when your support systems, your schools, your outside service help, any of the things going on that you have working with your child or with you yourself, sometimes they have a lot on their minds too. It's not an excuse, but it is reality. They may have to hear it more than one time. And educators, support systems, outside service people, when parents ask questions, Let's all try to help them find the answer the best we can. And I'll wrap this part up with these last two pieces. Christy Dunaway, one of our team members, posted on social media one afternoon, if you know someone with autism, you know one person with autism. Everyone under the neurodiverse umbrella has different characteristics, different levels of supports are needed. And so my advice to you is this. Let's all learn how to give everybody grace while on this journey. This journey can be easy with maybe just a little hurdle here or there, or it can be quite challenging. I've worked with both. And I'm going to promise you, and if you're one of my former parents from my last school, after 16 years of being a principal, you might find this hard to believe, but we didn't have all the answers. We learned a lot along the way, but there were still so many things we didn't know. Just as you as parents, when you have the questions, seek out the help, ask the questions, but also let's, from both sides, from the support system side and from the parent side, let's work together to give each other grace. That sometimes when things go wrong, not every time, but sometimes, it may just be because we don't know the answer yet. Now, that doesn't mean we can't go seek the answer out, because we can. And we can try things to try to find the right plan to put in place. And that's what we should be doing. But while we work through that process, let's allow all of us to say, okay, it might be smooth and it might be messy, but we're in this together. And we're going to allow ourselves to make mistakes, to have great days, and maybe not so good days, but we're going to get through it together. And for everyone out there watching this, listening in, connecting with people, and just living in the world, I truly believe when we approach life with empathy and kindness, the world will be a better place. So as you think about working with those with autism and on the spectrum, remember that piece of information. Remember to use your best emotional intelligence skills. Remember to approach the world with as much kindness as you possibly can. It doesn't mean that people get to do exactly what they want to do, but it does mean that we have an understanding that we all come from a different perspective with different unique characteristics. And when we understand that and approach everything we do in the world with kindness and consideration, with not being ugly and showing hatred, the world will be a better place. Now, I believe in us as a world, as a community. We might be in places right now that not everybody is happy about, but I believe we can get to a better place if we embrace everyone's unique qualities, everyone's unique perspective. Give ourselves grace when we don't know something. Seek out answers so we can all learn together. And most importantly, work as a team as we navigate the world of autism. Once again, I want to thank you for spending time with us. I hope that you can share out these episodes with those that may not have been able to see them yet. And reach out to any one of my team members, including myself, if you want to connect or want to learn more, or you just need someone to talk to about this whole process. I'm Sherry Dixon, former principal, former teacher, mom, advocate for all children, especially those on the spectrum. Enjoy the remaining testimonials from my team. And again, reach out. We're here for you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Allison Lyons, and I hope that you enjoyed this docu-series, Somewhere Over the Spectrum. It was truly an amazing collaboration that came together with so many differences of opinions and thoughts and information and resources, and I hope that you got so much out of it. And the one thing that I truly desire for you to know is that a neurodiverse person is just the same as all of us. Each and every one of us is special and unique in our very own way. And one of the biggest things that people on the spectrum do and do so well is live life, enjoy life, and no matter what they go through in their lives, with the proper support and care and resources, they can truly succeed in all areas of their life and lead the most beautiful, empowered life that there is. You know, I think a lot of us tend to get caught up in the idea of the label. And one of the most beautiful things is the label. The label sets you free. It's who you are. It's your identity. It makes you the person that you are. And when you can actually recognize those things, you start to notice your life shift and change. And I hope that the piece that I provided gave you some guidance and resources and things such as Autism Speaks that are out there to help the parents, the teachers, the organizations, to everyone work together within the community to help each and every one of us succeed in this world and have the most beautiful and fulfilled life. I hope that you enjoyed our docu-series, and we thank you so much for your time and attention, and we truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you.
I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this heartfelt journey of Somewhere Over the Spectrum. Throughout this documentary, my aim has been to speak from the depths of love and compassion, not just as a professional coach, but also as a devoted sibling and advocate. Being a sister and advocate has filled my life with purpose to empower my brothers to embrace their potential and develop the skills they need to thrive. Witnessing their growth in confidence and self-esteem has been immensely rewarding to me, paving the way for a more fulfilling life for each of them. In sharing the challenges we faced, I've also aimed to highlight the incredible abilities inherited in every individual, regardless of where they fall on the spectrum. We all stumble at times, but within those moments lie the invaluable lessons that shape us and propel us forward in our unique journeys that we all live through. To fellow parents and siblings, our individuals on the lower end of the spectrum, I implore you to consider the future with love and foresight. It's incumbent upon us as caregivers and advocates to ensure provisions are in place for our loved ones when we no longer can provide the direction and support that they need. These discussions, though difficult, are essential for securing their well-being and happiness in the long run. My own experiences have forced me into strength, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to advocacy. Today, as a life empowerment coach and mentor, I strive to extend this support to others, guiding them towards a life of fulfillment and joy. I invite you to reflect on your own journey and contempt you on how you can enrich not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. True transformation begins with authenticity and with a willingness to confront reality head on. My name is Glenda Curl, and I'm here to serve you on a path of life filled with genuine joy and fulfillment. Thank you.
Through this docuseries, you have heard from teachers, school administrators, service providers, caregivers, and parents, all who have had a personal experience with somebody on the spectrum. Over the last episodes, you have heard stories of trials and hard situations and stories of triumph and inspiration. If I could leave you with one thing, it's this: don't underestimate somebody with autism. Even though it may look a little different than what we typically see in society today, they have so much to offer in our classrooms, in our communities, in the workplace, and in relationships. You have seen it lived out in the stories of my son Graham, our friends Christy and Amelia, and in Julie's story as well over the last few weeks. If you've learned anything through this series, please pay it forward and share it with someone else. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, I'm Wongai, and I hope that everyone enjoyed watching Somewhere on the Spectrum. I had so much to learn, and I believe everyone also had so much to learn from everyone that contributed to the success of the docuseries. My last words to everyone who's been with us through the journey of making this docuseries is that a neurodiverse person is just someone who's like us, but someone who sees the world in a different color. But so does everyone. I see the world in a different way. The next person sees the world in a different way. So my advice is, let's love them more and let's learn to be more patient with them. My last word to the world and my community at large is, let's come together and be united with our love and knowledge and patience for neurodiverse people, and do everything that we can to help them achieve everything that they want to achieve in the world. Just like you would help a baby to start taking their first step when they're learning to walk. Let's do the same for our brothers. Let's do the same for our sisters, because at the end of the day, what matters is love. Thank you.